It is finally time for this Monday night game, and we got a special pregame show coming your way right now from Morgan's on Fulton. We'll tell you all about it once we get going. Bears Commanders. Pregame starts right now. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment is, never ordinary at Bet365. We are live from the Vaughn McClure Jeff Dickinson Foundation watch party happening at Morgan's on Fulton. Thank you for everybody that bought tickets. We announced this last week. We said we were going to be here. Bears fans came through. This event is now sold out, and all of the money is going to great causes that were important to our friends Vaughn McClure and Jeff Dickerson, who are sadly no longer with us. We miss them very, very, very much, and it's they've been doing this event now, I think, for 4 years. I think this is the fourth one, and this year's new, it being a watch party for the Bears game. We're very excited about the game. We're very excited to be here. We're glad you are here to watch with us.
It's an honor for us to honor JD, honor Vaughn. I got to work around both of them for many, many years. And nothing that I can say right now hasn't been said a zillion times, but just first class and great people and great workers and great everything, and they're both incredibly missed. And anytime I would walk into any event and see them, it was a better day. Yep. So
two of the most positive people ever been around. And if you'd like to contribute tonight, you can do so. Just go to tvmjdfoundation.org. Again, that's tvmjdfoundation.org, and you'll, as soon as you go to the website, you'll see the button to pop up to donate. We appreciate everybody contributing. Maybe do that in lieu of sending us super chats here on the pregame show. Meanwhile, we have exciting news to share with you too here at CHGO before we jump into some of the pregame news. But earlier today, we hit 90,000 YouTube subscribers, which is awesome.
Thank you. Way to go, Cubs.
Well, it's everybody that supports any of our shows. It's been an amazing ride here for the last about 3.5 years now, and we're shooting for 100 coming up next. But we want to reward you for getting to 90 because this is you guys who did this. So if you're not a diehard, we are offering you the lowest price we've ever offered ever. Wow. $27. Just $27. The same amount of points the Bears are going to score tonight in Washington. That's your in price for a full year of diehard access to all of our content, our Discord, 20% off all merch and events you always get when you are a diehard. And you say, well, what's the perk if I'm already am a diehard? Well, because if you're already a diehard, you get even better. 50% off. For the next 24 hours, if you're already a diehard, you get 50% off all merch.
Yeah, and you can see on the screen right now that sweet in the middle there blue CHGO shirt. It's so soft, it's so comfy, it's so wonderful, and 50% off is an amazing value right there for a nice solid tee. Add on, there's a million other options there too. And I also heard that it wasn't completely locked in, but if you do sign up today, I heard that you do get access to Greg Braggs' pool this summer, and you can hang out in the cul-de-sac.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Welcome, although the pool just got closed down, so I know it's
I thought you were tough in the region.
Yeah, well, it's almost November, so
turn it into a hot tub.
We got to close the pool at some point.
All right, well, let's dive into this game. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, and Greg Braggs Jr. here with you on pregame. We got Steven Nicholas producing, as always, Kevin Kaduk, and Pat Norton behind the scenes as well. And Adam Johns is out in D.C., technically Landover, Maryland. That dump they built outside in the outskirts of D.C. that they can't wait to get out of. They do have approval on their stadium, and I believe that whole thing is happening on the site of the old RFK. But that's not why you came here tonight. We're going to talk about the game, and we always do before we even get into the inactives, is what matters most tonight. And actually, Greg, I'd like you to kick us off tonight with what matters most.
Well, to me, it is about revenge. Let's not duck the smoke. Let's embrace it. We all understand what happened last year, and there's no reason to hide from it. Play it on the pre-game montage as much as you want, ESPN, because the Bears are going to attack this head-on here today, and there would be nothing better for this team to redeem themselves from everything that stood in their way last year. This game represents a lot of things for the Chicago Bears, but to be able to right the wrong of last year, one of the worst losses in franchise history, and let's be honest about it. I know it sounds hyperbolic, but at the same time, it's one of those plays that will be played over and over for decades. And so when you consider that, kind of like the Monday Night Miracle for the Arizona Cardinals, they have to live that every year. Little different circumstances, but at the same time, I do think it's tangible. So if the Bears can overcome this, I think it represents a lot of things. Who they aren't from what they were last year and who they are becoming now. We talked about the last two wins and how they stacked the deck and started to build some momentum on the good, better, best culture that Ben Johnson's building. You win this game tonight, it's a signature win for Caleb Williams, it's a signature win for Ben Johnson, and it's a signature win for this organization about what's to come, not what's happening right now.
Can I ask a follow-up question, though? Is this more about revenge or redemption? Because I view it more as a redemption game. I don't view this as like some big rival. Now, maybe it'll turn into a rival because these quarterbacks might end up facing each other for a long time. That would be great. But for me, it's just like, it's not like anything horrible happened on the part of the Washington Commanders that you need to like get revenge for. It's more about what you screwed up at the end of that game.
Sure.
And then everything that also happened.
That's fair.
The rest of the way. So I look at it more, I know I'm kind of nitpicking here, but I feel like it's more of a redemption game than a revenge game.
Excellent nuance, and I think it absolutely is redemption for Tyrique Stevenson.
Yeah.
And I hear everything you're saying, but I do think tonight, as far as that narrative, for me, it's mainly about Tyrique and him having a great night tonight and him not getting involved with the crowd or maybe having a little bit of fun at some point, just give him maybe, as we were talking about earlier in the week, like a big as he makes some great play. I'd love to see that. For me, look, it's always about the quarterback and the Bears offense and Ben and all that. But look, the Bears are entering a stretch right now where they can win a lot of football games. You have winnable games, and if you want to, starting with tonight and then into the Saints and whatnot, it's a chance to really get relevant. Now, if they're going to do that, they're going to have to start stopping the run, and the Commanders rush the football well. The Bears right now are giving up 164.5 yards per game.
Rushing yards per game.
Rushing yards per game. There is only one team, the Miami Dolphins, who are giving up 4 yards more than them. That is not acceptable. You cannot win football games that way. So tonight, look, the Commanders have an unbelievable rookie running back in the 7th round who popped off last week in Cross-Kumar. Can you stop him and the rest of that attack and actually put up a number where the Commanders end up rushing for somewhere around 3 yards per game versus the 6 they've been giving up? This has been whatever they've been working on during this time period. I'm hoping that Dennis Allen has some answers.
So for me, it kind of touching on what both of you have already said, but well documented at this point. I went up to Lambeau yesterday. I saw the Packers beat the Bengals, and I'm leaving that game yesterday kind of going, what did I just watch? Like, the Packers were not impressive at all.
They weren't.
And yet, they were pretty much in control of the game the entire time. And I'm getting texts from some of my Packer friends literally in the fourth quarter as the game's wrapping up. We're not really good, and which I thought was interesting. And so I'm leaving that game going, are they contenders or pretenders? I kind of feel that same thing's on the line for the Bears tonight. Are you a serious contender? Can you go into Washington, D.C., win this game against a solid Commanders team that went to the NFC Championship game last year, kind of announce yourself as arriving as And when I say contenders, by the way,
They're contending for.
Right, different levels of contention. I think with the Packers, they're like, are they real Super Bowl contenders or not? For the Bears, it's like, can they contend to get into the playoffs? That's how I view it. And tonight, I feel like you can establish yourself as one of those teams, or you can go out and lose it, and you kind of just feel like they're not quite to that level.
Well, I mean, look at the Drake May blueprint, right? Another one of the draft class guys for Caleb and Jane Daniels. The Bears haven't played in 2 weeks. Since then, Drake May has beaten the Bills on primetime,
yes.
His signature win, and then he followed that up with a convincing win against the
And
New Orleans.
Really good in both games.
Against the New Orleans Saints. Well, guess what? Now Caleb Williams has
Yeah.
an opportunity to have a primetime win, and then guess who they play next week? The New Orleans Saints at home. So you have, and New England fans are sitting here talking about the playoffs, talking about how Drake May is a budding star and a franchise quarterback for their team. So this is the opportunity that Caleb Williams has to match that.
Well, and along those lines, their schedule in New England lines up very well right now for them to stack a bunch of wins. Now they play in a much easier division. They get to play the Jets and the Dolphins twice each. That's 4 of their games.
The Bears get the AFC North.
True. But what I'm saying is also the Bears right now their schedule gets much harder at the end of the road. But right now, coming up, winnable games. But what Drake May and the Patriots were able to do was win a couple of the tough ones. Well, at least last week's was tough. And then take care of business against the Saints. So that's kind of what the Bears could do.
Absolutely.
Take care of this one, then you get the Saints coming to your place next week.
Well, and you've got, if you look at Tankathon right now and who's picking in the top 10, 5 of the teams in the top 10 right now picking in the top 10, the Bears still play on their schedule this year.
There you go. All right. Let's get into inactives because there's an interesting list of who's in and who's out tonight. And a lot of the relevant players is what I was trying to say on both the in and the outside. So your inactives for tonight, starting with something that could matter a lot. The kicker, Cairo Santos, is out.
Wow.
Brad Biggs was reporting earlier that something flared up with that quad injury he's been dealing with and over the weekend, and he is out. Jade Walker is inactive. Grady Jarrett on that defensive line is missing this one again, and Tano Passanio is out. Kind of that extra lineman. Case Keenum obviously inactive. Ruben Hippolyte with TJ Edwards coming back. That kind of pushes Noah Sewell back to the Sam. And Ruben Hippolyte, who didn't even see the field on defense in the last game, he's out as well. Luke Newman, the rookie offensive lineman, is also out. So
Newman.
That means Colson Loveland's in.
Mm-hmm.
It's good news coming off that hip. That means Darnell Wright is in and presumably starting at right tackle.
Right.
So, and then we're expected to see Theo Benedict, who I respect, walking in today in a Canadian hockey jersey to the stadium.
Yeah, and shout out Theo. Shout out Theo Benedict. Shout out Adam Johns. If you haven't read that piece at allchgo.com, that'd be a great thing to do when we get off there at about 7 o'clock.
And if you didn't read it because you're not a diehard, now you can get that deal for $27 in the next 24 hours and go ahead and read it.
There you go. And right there, I mean, that piece is worth $27 right there. You can read about how Theo Benedict ate a worm in front of his high school team, trying to motivate them before a game. That was
I respect it.
That right there was worth $27.
Very kind of a weird, specific thing to do, but.
Hey,
would that get you fired up if Greg ate a worm right now pregame? Does anybody have a worm?
Greg used to swallow gum on the show for reasons that I never understood. Eating a worm is a little bit grosser than that, but still, I don't know. The gum's probably still in his stomach. That worm got processed pretty quickly. Going down a weird rabbit hole right now. Look,
wouldn't be the first time this week.
I don't want to overreact to a Ryan Poles free agent signing right now on the pregame shows. We get excited for the Commanders, but the Grady Jarrett thing's just bugging me. You paid him a lot of money. The guy was healthy for all of 5 seconds. He was supposed to be a key part of that defense. Missing him tonight, missing him last week, whatever he's going to be the rest of the season. That development sucks. It's just too bad because they need him, and it's an opportunity. Shamar Turner, can you step into it? Maybe some guys will get moved inside tonight. Who knows if Dio Odeng will get slid in it with, as they try to find some way somehow to get to the quarterback. But that's obviously another big thing here. Can Montez Sweat have a big revenge game? It should be revenge for him tonight. going up against the Commanders.
They did trade him, so yeah, I could buy the revenge aspect.
That would be revenge for him.
Yeah.
I think the bigger thing to look at tonight is obviously Jake Moody.
Yeah.
And, as hard as we've been at times on Cairo Santos, my guy Shane Marsaw, who does the CHGO Bears After Dark on Mondays and Tuesdays, will be on tomorrow night, and, of course, with TTNL. But he shared with me these stats with Jake Moody. In 89 career games for Cairo Santos, he only has 17 missed field goals. In 31 career games over 3 seasons for Jake Moody, 46 of 62 on field goals, a 74.2% clip. And you're talking about a game here tonight where it's raining currently there, so the margins are going to be slim. This could come down to a kick or two.
It could.
And not just at the end, but in the middle of the games, you got to be able to make these. His career long is a 57. He's 6 of 12 on 50-yard field goals or more. So,
Well, let's not forget he was a third-round pick. This is a kicker with enormous talent. So maybe, perhaps, if you want to be super optimistic, the Bears have found a way to unlock whatever was missing before he got here.
Well, right. So his leg's a little stronger. I say a little because it theoretically should be a lot stronger. But when you look at the career long 57, Cairo's is like 55, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
And I think he made a 57-yarder in the preseason. So
sure.
He's got a stronger leg. There's
he
no
should be able
question.
to kick the ball in the back of the end zone when he needs to.
But it just kind of goes to show you sometimes how, as hard as we are on Cairo, when you start to look at some of the other kickers across the NFL landscape, he's not as bad as sometimes we make him out to be.
Right.
And maybe that's just because we're so invested in what our kicker is doing.
Do you know who the 49ers replaced Jake Moody with?
Who's that?
Eddie Pinheiro.
There you go.
I mean, sometimes it's almost like relief pitchers. Like, they just kind of get cycled around sometimes.
But like relief pitchers, sometimes when they find their right place, all of a sudden they become something they weren't before.
Yeah.
So, it's not an exact science. Being a kicker in the NFL is not an easy job.
Well, what I think is very important here to point out, too, the Bears did not pick up Jake Moody because they had a hurt kicker. So they picked him up kind of as okay, this guy's on the street. Let's see if we can add him to the practice squad. Let's see if there's something here. So it's at least while they insist they weren't upset with Cairo Santos, there's still a little bit of a piece of, hey, can we do better here if we develop this guy and get him at the right time? So my point of all that is doors open a little bit for an opportunity for Jake Moody. If he has a good game tonight, that creates an interesting conversation going forward.
Sure. If the Bears need a 65-yard field goal in the rain to win it tonight and Jake Moody bangs it through, that'll be the end of Cairo Santos.
I saw the NFL record kick yesterday, and it didn't count.
Yeah, that was fun. It bounced on the crossbar across, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It went in, but they called timeout, and then the next one was
wide right.
Short.
Yeah.
No, it was 10 yards shorter. I was like, how did that even happen?
Dude, well, he exhausted every bit of energy, and that was it.
I guess so.
Or there was a big gust of wind, one of the two.
All right, it might have been that. We need to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back. We're going to give you our pregame picks coming up from Bet365. We'll hear from tonight's starting left tackle, and we're going to hit from Adam Johns in Washington, D.C. That's all coming up next. But first,
want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Almost Home. If you're looking for the spot to catch your favorite games this season, we've got a place that checks all the boxes. It's chef driven with elevated bar food that's locally inspired. They've got the best smash burger, and tavern style pizza is amazing. Their hot honey is certainly my favorite.
I know you go nuts on that one.
It's not just about the food, though. They also offer games, pool, darts, the Big Buck Hunter, shuffleboard. I'll smoke you in shuffleboard anytime, any day. Wall-to-wall TVs, perfect for watching literally any sport. They're great on NFL Sundays. And the owners, CHGO diehard members and massive Bears fans. So, yes, the Bears are repped hard at Almost Home. They've even got a covered beer garden with TVs, so you're not missing a thing, rain or shine. Just a block north of Wrigley Field, so it's the ideal pregame, during game, and post-game spot for all the sports you want to watch. Daily specials and happy hour that's actually worth your time. Go check out our friends at Almost Home Tavern.
Got some Northwestern Wildcat football game coming to Wrigley. That'd be a great day for Almost Home. Also, it's a great day to smell good. Fall is here. Crisp air, the football, bonfires. Yeah, don't let that body odor that I might be sniffing right now, don't let that sideline you. Thank God they're back because you need Mando deodorant plus the sweat control. You'll be sweating a little bit tonight, Gregory, with the Bears and Commanders. That's right. One swipe, you're good to go. It controls both the sweat and your odor for 72 hours. And after just 12 hours, that underarm sweat was reduced by 92%. That's a significant percentage right there. You want to get involved. I'm happy they're back. Go to our friends at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. And please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness.
Yeah. We are back. Morgan's on Fulton with the Vaughn McClure Jeff Dickerson Foundation, and look who's joined us. We got cheerleaders here.
This is big.
Watch party.
Bears by $1 billion right now. You can absolutely feel it. This is the spot to be tonight.
What an awesome venue on the rooftop here. Never been here. This is an amazing spot right at Fulton and Morgan.
I mean, it's just so many people supporting in so many different ways. You guys are awesome. I'm sure you weren't walking around wearing that today, and then you came in here and given the good cheer. It's amazing. Of course they were not. Yeah. But that's hey, it's a privilege to be here. We're doing it for JD and for Vaughn and for the Bears, I guess too. Why not?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
So we're watching the game here, and then we got our post-game show and everything coming up later, of course, on CHGO. It is time for our Bet365 pregame picks. Sign up, use code CHGO365. You get deposit 10, place a bet for 5, and you'll get 200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. We got a bunch of picks for you tonight. Steven put together a same-game parlay for all you guys. Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt.
Anytime TD.
The ATD kind of threw me off there. DJ Moore, anytime TD, and the Bears to cover 8.5. So moving that spread a little bit. That'll get you plus 675. Carbs big on DJ Moore tonight as well.
So, yeah, the way I look at it, it's that Ben Johnson has been in the lab, and what is not cooking the way it should be cooking, DJ Moore has not anywhere close to what he could be. So 50-plus yards for DJ tonight. That's not a ton for him historically, obviously. So you get plus 155. And by the way, when you do the Bet365, and I did it today, I should have done it a long time ago, but all I did was deposit $10. Made a $5 bet. I got $200 in free bets, and I'm riding it on DJ tonight. Big spender over here, but just shout out to our friends at Bet365. It's an amazing offer.
There you go. And I also like a nice simple one for you. Kyle Monangai to get at least 5 carries in the game. The over/under is 4.5 rushing attempts. He's hit that. He's been over that number the last couple games anyway. And they just spent this huge bye week talking about how to fix this thing, how to get the running game going, and I just feel like Kyle Monangai is going to have something to do with it.
Well, you got weather too. You're not going to put it all on DeAndre Swift. I like that play, and I thought the Monangai looked the best that he's looked in the last game, which was. They played the Raiders. It feels like it was 3 months ago at this point.
It does, doesn't it?
I believe he only had 4 carries against the Raiders. I have to go back and double check my math.
I got you.
But that's to me why he should hit that over, because that's clearly only 4 carries for 18 yards on a 4.5 clip against the Raiders.
So it must have been the 3 other games before that where he got out, because I just looked this up pregame show.
The most he had was 7. He had 7 in the loss to Detroit. Then he had 6 against Dallas, 4 against the Raiders.
Right. So he's been two of the games before the Raiders game. He went over that number. He was just 1 shy of it in the last game, and now I feel like there's going to be an emphasis on getting him involved. So I think it's a good play tonight. And honestly, if they don't give him 5 carries, we're all going to be sitting on the postgame show going, what the hell are they doing?
I mean, I think the only reason that didn't come up on our last postgame show 2 weeks ago is because they won the game.
Right.
They have to find a way tonight. There's 2 things the Bears aren't good at, and that's stopping the run and running the ball. And you've had 2 weeks to try to figure it out.
There's a couple other things, but
there's a couple other things, but those are the 2
Sacking the quarterback.
Those are the 2 main priorities right now: are stopping the run and then, of course, running the ball. So to me, they got to get something figured out amongst those problems here coming up. You've had 2 weeks, and Kyle Monungai, at least for the running game concern, is somebody that I think can help significantly if you give him an opportunity.
Well, and everyone's talking about how Ben, after the bye, tends to be Wizard Ben. And let's just throw in there, Ben had one more day on this one. We got a Monday night game, so it should be Ben a Wizard +1. Let's go. I would love to think that the Bears offense is going to play incredibly well tonight. Now, on the other side of the coin, the Commanders, Justin Herbert, he threw for 166 yards in that game, which was the 8th lowest total in his 84 NFL starts. So they did a good job containing Herbert and containing the Chargers, even though they didn't look great in that game early, but they ended up winning it going away. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bears can get Caleb to, back towards the level that he was at in the Dallas game versus what happened against the Raiders.
Well, there's one more. I'll give you a little bonus prop that I like. This is just if you want a little bit more value and a little bit more risk, I guess. But I like Olamide Zaccheaus to maybe get in the end zone tonight. His anytime TD you can get at +375. As good as he's been through the first 4 games, he doesn't have a touchdown yet. So he's kind of due there. And he's going back to Washington where he played. So another little bit of a revenge aspect there if you'd like. An opportunity to prove that, hey, man, I was worth more than $1.5 million that I got from the Bears. And so I like Zaccheaus to get a touchdown tonight, too.
I like that move. I love guys going back against the former teams, putting a little money on them.
Another big storyline tonight, Theo Benedict, first start at left tackle. He was on the right side in Las Vegas and then had to switch over to the left. He played pretty well. Tonight he's going to start there from the very beginning. It'll be very, very interesting to see how that goes. Theo Benedict, the Canadian Eagle. Carm was this a one-on-one with you or just him talking in the locker room the other day?
So this was not me. This was a Saturday. This was a
Pat. Oh, this was Pat Norton.
This is a Pat Norton. Theo, no, I have reviewed the tape on this, and there is a little bit of a background noise in it, but you can hear the beauty that is Benedict. I figured we'd get 90 seconds of our new left tackle because if loving Theo Benedict is wrong, then I don't want to be right, Gregory, because I'm a Benedict. This guy is going to be a lot of fun. I hope he plays well.
Yeah, kind of a natural continuation. You start getting more and more reps, and then as the week goes on, you learn kind of what plays are maybe designed for you or designed to use your strengths, and that kind of helps to clear things up. And everyone's been super supportive. Obviously, having Joe next to me, a vet, is a real anchor that can kind of help me sort through all the new things I'm seeing being out there for the first few games.
Do you view this as a rival for you, or do you feel like you're going to have to defend this every play?
Oh, I think you definitely have to defend it every play. We have a really talented group, not only in this locker room, but in the NFL generally. So, that's one of the first things you learn is as soon as you're in this building, they're trying to replace you. So,
a lot of people didn't like the bye week being so early. But wasn't the bye week good for you at this point?
Yeah, I was the same way. When the schedule first came out, I was like, I got week 5 bye. You don't want that, but it ended up working out real well for me, obviously. Coming off that first start, giving me a lot of time to process and learn from that and get ready now to move to start on the left side.
As a follow-up to what Jason asked, what did they tell you? Like, they said you are indefinitely the starter at left tackle? Did they tell you it's a tryout? Like, what did they say?
No, I don't think they said either of those things. They just said this is you'll be the starter this week and to go out there and compete and show them what you can do. And, obviously I have every intention of playing for as long as I can there. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Another prop bet you can get tonight is over under half a quarter before the cut on his nose opens up and bleeds out. Well, not bleeds out. Hopefully it won't be that bad.
Theo Benedict will never die. Theo Benedict may get bloodied, but that's only just to intimidate the opposition, and that's why we love Theo Benedict. We also love Mark Grody just staring at him in weird ways that entire interview. It's a great job by Grody and Sean Hammond in the background there, too. But I did think it was interesting in the back end there. What have they told you? Nothing. Look, I got to play well tonight, or else they might go right back to Braxton Jones well, that's really the only option at this point. But, so I don't think they're putting Trapillo back on the left side. But, he has no guarantees. He's got to play well. We'll see how he does.
Honestly, the next move might be to put Darnell Wright over there and play Ozzie and Wright.
That seems crazy, too. But
what I would call the nuclear option, like back when they used to put Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves on the same line, they would call that the nuclear option. That might be the nuclear option when it comes to the Bears' offensive line. So let's hope it doesn't get to that point and they don't need to do that.
That could be an off-season option. I think that's not even a nuclear off-season option, but I don't think they would do that now.
Yeah. All right, we need to take our next break. We got Adam Hoge standing by at Northwest Stadium.
We only had one break.
Oh, we only had one break. All right, we don't need to take a break.
There's no breaks. We never take breaks home. I'm going to keep fighting this fight.
Okay.
Interludes.
Interlude.
It's an interlude.
That's the first time you've ever used that word.
Interlude.
You don't even know what that means.
It's not even an interlude. It's just a continuation.
Well, Johnson's definitely not an interlude. We're going out to the most boring stadium name, Northwest Stadium.
There was
I'm not sure what Northwest. Is it like in North? Is it Northwest from downtown DC, Johns? I don't get it.
I'm not sure of the naming here or how that came to be, but it is, I guess, a little northeast, I think, if you look at the map, Adam.
All right. So, Johnsy, we're having a little trouble hearing you, which is definitely our fault. So I don't even know if you scream in the press box, it'll work. But
I could slightly hear him.
If the audience can hear him, I don't care. Just ask him a question.
Yeah, we'll ask questions and then we'll go from there.
I didn't answer.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, not really. But so here's the question for you. Do you believe, or what do you think we will see after Ben Johnson's been in the lab the last 2 weeks, coming up with something for the offense to get going? What best prediction on what Bears fans will get to see tonight?
Well, if you're Ben Johnson, you know he goes in the lab to come up with gadget plays, trick plays. So I think you're looking for something like that. He's had a couple weeks to plan something, but I think overall you're just looking for more consistency out of the passing offense. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, John, you're good. They can hear you fine. It's just us, so just do your thing.
Adam Hoge will ask the next great question.
No. Okay.
You got a good one?
No, I don't. Greg, do you?
Greg, do you have a good question for Johnson?
I'm curious about the weather conditions. I know the fans are as well. You're there, so just curious how the wind and rain is looking and if anything in the forecast or the radar is telling you how it's going to go the rest of the night.
So I just looked at the forecast, Greg. This rain is supposed to clear up eventually, but right now it seems kind of stuck over the stadium right now, over Landover, Maryland. If you look at the radar, it's sloppy out there. We saw Jake Moody going through warm-ups. It looked like he changed his cleats a little bit to fix his own footing. So you know it's going to be slippery. We saw some guys catching or dropping passes, I should say, during their own warm-up session. So, guys, we walked in. It was misty. The rain was kind of sideways as the game or as the warm-ups kept going on, and the rain seemed to get heavier and heavier. As well, I know they're out there right now. I can't see where I'm at right now in the press box, but I know it's coming down pretty good according to all the reporters that were in the sidelines.
And this is a natural grass stadium, not a turf, correct?
Right. Could be a muddy one.
So, high degree of difficulty for Jake Moody tonight. Should Bears fans be confident in the backup kicker?
I saw him attempt a 60-yard field goal from midfield, and he hooked it way left. So if he's going to have that opportunity in the game, I don't know, but I wouldn't try it if I'm the Bears. Different pregame routine, I would say, from Cairo Santos. He was on his own for quite a bit. Like I said, he seemed to change his cleats. Something was wrong with his footing, so he seemed to get that addressed. But then he seemed to get going later with Torrey Taylor and Scott Daly as part of their routine. I'm so used to seeing Cairo Santos out there, that kicking trio going through everything that they do. So kind of unique to see Jake Moody go through this routine for the first time. Seemed to be on his own for a little bit, especially in the early going.
So, John, just curious what you've seen pregame. There's a lot of different storylines and angles, whether it's Kayla versus Jaden, Tyrique Stevenson going back to the place that haunted him last year. Just did anything stand out from any of those guys being out there on the pregame field?
Well, I think I'm sitting in the exact same seat that I was in last year when the Hail Mary occurred. So there's a fun fact for you. Look, those storylines are built up coming in. We'll see what happens on the field. I think the Bears secondary is playing some exceptional football where they were going into the bye week. I think the Bears would love for that to continue. Their secondary has been forcing a lot of takeaways, and Tyrique Stevenson has been a part of that. He's been playing like a number one cornerback since that Detroit game and since Jalen Johnson became unavailable for the rest of the season.
John's last one for me. You sat with Theo Benedict. He almost made you eat a worm, I heard, but you didn't write about that, which is a good job on you by not doing that. Do you think that he's in a position where if he just plays average, it's his spot going forward. What's your sense of that?
Well, I think the Bears are hoping for better than average. Let's face it, his first starting opportunity at right tackle came against one of the NFL's best players, one of the premier pass rushers in Max Crosby. This is going to be a different story. Maybe the slow footing, maybe the slippery footing helps him out here in a sense where these pass rushers can't get the jump that they want going into this game. But this should be his job to lose going forward. Whether or not he holds on to it remains to be seen. But if I'm the Bears, I think they have a lot of confidence in him going back to training camp.
All right, well, Johnsy, we appreciate the information from the stadium. We'll enjoy the game, and we'll be following along. Of course, you should be following Johnsy at Adam Johns on Twitter, social media, and all those channels. Of course, we'll hear from you post-game as well. Thanks, Johnsy.
See you, fellas.
Of course, the "see you, fellas" came right through my headset, nice, loud, and clear.
Hopefully he gets a good window seat. I saw, the press box at Washington's not very good. Though it's like the old high school press boxes where you have the natural windows where you're going to be blocked from your view a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a horrible press box. It's low and in the end zone. It's the worst view you could have from any NFL stadium in all the press boxes.
I thought Johns did a phenomenal job battling through that segment right there. Maybe it was very easy for him and just challenging for us because, we're in the battle right now. On the road, Stephen Nicholas trying to do everything he can to make this broadcast happen, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. And I think the Bears are going to win the football game. That's my feeling coming out of that there, Hoge.
Yep.
Moody's going to bang one from 65 through the rain. We needed rain.
What's Moody going to
do? Right through the uprights, Gregory.
3 times a show.
From 65.
Yeah.
Through the rain. Bears get to 3-2. And the Fail Mary is something that we never talk about ever again. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Well, I mean, you're the one that brought it up during the week, and this is where I said embrace it. The Fail Mary is a miserable moment for us as Bears fans. But if it was the beginning of something, the moment that we hit rock bottom as an organization, right? They go on to lose 10 games in a row. The coach gets fired. The coordinators get fired. And it leads to this change of Ben Johnson and an offseason of to me, it could be the benchmark moment of this is where things got at its worst, and now things can start turning for the better.
Well, I like the way that Ben has gone about it, though, too, right? He doesn't even acknowledge it. I wasn't here.
Right.
That was forever ago. I don't see a whole lot of reason to bring it up. Other than literally, I think everybody. The only thing about it is dudes wanted to kill Tyrique, and they never said it at the time. And Tyrique talked about it more than anybody else, and I have to own it. I put everybody in that position, and I thought that Tyrique had his best week, at least as far as just talking to the media about a mistake that a Bears player has had in a long time. Shout out Tyrique. Owned it, moving forward, and he's been playing great football the last couple of weeks. So really embracing the opportunity with Jalen out. And as Terry McLaurin's not playing tonight, Debo is. Hopefully he'll have a big game tonight.
Yeah. Well, Pat Norton just dropped this in our little communication stream here. A little interesting nugget when it comes to Bears versus Washington. First time since 1996 and 1997 that this matchup will feature the same quarterbacks in back-to-back games. Meaning every time that they played each other, there's been different quarterbacks since Gus Frerotte went against Eric Kramer in 96 and 97.
What a Norton nugget.
Is Norton going to say thank you to Kevin Fishbane for that little nugget that he busted out 4 days ago? Or is that just an interception
I guess
of
he's
the
just going to steal it. I think he should. I think he just stole it from the Fishman.
I mean,
forget Fishman. He's got enough fish facts. It's time for Patrick Norton.
Well, he has fun facts, and none are fun.
Can you name the 2 quarterbacks that played in back-to-back games since?
Well, he just named them.
Yeah, that just happened.
Okay.
But I forgot who he said. So the answer is no, I cannot.
Both idiots.
Gus Frerotte and who?
Eric Kramer.
Remember him?
Yeah, Eric
Your
Kramer.
guy?
My guy.
Bo Nix.
Yeah, came on this show and told everybody that Bo Nix was going to be the best quarterback, and everybody who watches CHGO Bears screamed at Eric Kramer. I'm like, hey, give Eric Kramer a break.
Well, they didn't make the playoffs, but I do think we owe England an apology for having to sit through Broncos and Jets. I'm sure T3P was glued to the television with his boy Justin showing up and showing out, but
T3P out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, T3P. I didn't do that.
But I do think England deserves an apology for the representation on both sides because it was bad offensive football for both teams.
Did you watch the end of that game?
Yes.
So what was your reaction when he gets sacked to end it?
Unbelievable. Truly, it was.
Did you laugh? Did you cry?
No,
what did you do?
No, everybody's doing their victory laps on Twitter about it. I wasn't laughing. I honestly thought they'd get in field goal range, and I was just sitting there as you're watching it, like after everything that they've gone through this game, they still have a chance to win. And you really have to give the Broncos credit, their defense, for finishing strong. I thought somebody said it great. I'm not sure who said it, so I apologize for not crediting, but they said, I feel like the Broncos could win every game the rest of the year and lose every game the rest of the year. They really do play like that. Yeah. Their defense to hold the Jets to 11 points, to be able to get that final sack there. I mean, honestly, at this point I've tried to move on from Fields, and I'll poke fun at T3P because he likes to have fun with us. But at the same time, I honestly feel bad for him when you look at it. Somehow he's gotten worse over the last couple of years. And
because he went to the Jets.
Yeah, because he went to the Jets.
He wasn't worse last year. He went 4-2. He played fine. This obviously has been a really rough go.
Right, but the Jets were the first organization to believe in him. They gave him $40 million. So whatever. This isn't a Jets pregame show.
It's
but
not.
Regardless,
but
that was my honest feeling. Is I just feel bad for him because it's just going the wrong way. I'd be surprised if he's starting quarterback next week.
You don't need to feel. He doesn't want your sympathy. He's fine.
It is relevant to the Bears because you just look around the league at some of these quarterback situations and you say, hey, the Bears right now seemingly are look, we want to do the Jaden versus Caleb thing. And all these Commander fans got to get all upset all week because we dared say that this evaluation isn't over. That's fine. You're probably feeling pretty good about Jaden. If you're the Patriots right now, you're feeling pretty good about Drake May. My point is, you should still feel pretty good about Caleb because you look at some of these situations, whether it's Justin Fields in New York or, some of these hilarious things happened yesterday. The league is always filled with entertainment. That's why the NFL is so great. But the Dolphins lose, and Tua goes up there and is like, guys are skipping meetings and it's a leadership problem. And everybody's like, dude, you're the starting quarterback.
Man,
where's your leadership?
If that wasn't the Dolphins, I do not feel bad for at all.
Right.
Because when they came to Hallis Hall and their reporters are acting like idiots and talking about the Bears are playing too hard, you could see that coming a mile away. And the fact that they've become a train wreck.
But that's kind of my point. The fact that we were the ones that were able to be like, this is a red flag for you guys.
Red
and you
alert.
don't even realize it's
Red
happening.
alert.
Trust us. We know. But you guys are complaining about they're practicing too hard. Disaster is coming your way. Yeah. And then, how about the Titans? They fire their head coach today, Brian Callahan, the week Mike Vrabel's coming back to town.
Well, and also,
it's so funny to me.
Well, and they were in a similar situation with the Bears where they had the number one pick with a quarterback, had an opportunity to reset everything with the coach and quarterback.
And the GM, which they did hire a new GM.
Right. And so it just goes to show you.
Well, I think we did it better. I mean, they only went 1-5 before making a change. The Bears made it through 9 games last year before firing Flus. So the Bears actually did it better than the Titans with Callahan, who's.
I think most people would hear what you just said and argue that it's better they did it earlier.
That's probably true. I take it back. but I think that when I read the Callahan thing, I'm like, oh my God, at least the Bears are not the only organization. And actually, that was worse because Flus at least had a 7-win season, right? There was really no. I mean, I get it. It was only 1 year in Tennessee, but he ends his career as a Titan head coach 4-19.
I got one more quick one that sort of has to do with the Bears, and then I promise we'll get back to this game. I think the Indianapolis Colts are the 2020 Chicago Bears.
What a Hoge thought.
I think the Indianapolis Colts are the 2020 Chicago Bears.
Put that down. You watched CHGO Bears pregame for that thought right there.
They're the organization that probably should have blown it up after last season. They didn't. They're trying to ride it out with Daniel Jones right now. Daniel Jones looks pretty good. That defense, though, and the schedule, the teams that they've beat, it's a little fraudulent. Just like the Bears were fraudulent when they were 5-1 that season, remember? They were 5-1, and everybody was like, they're not that good. And then They won just enough games to barely get in the playoffs and keep everybody for one more year. That was too many years.
Yep.
That was my favorite last touchdown of a season ever when who was that tight end?
Jimmy Graham.
When Jimmy Graham.
Who is that tight end?
When Jimmy Graham left
Hall
the
of
stadium.
Fame tight end, Jimmy Graham.
Whatever. The guy walked out of caught it, and left the building.
It was so awesome.
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
Hey, Gregory, I brought out a note for you tonight as we get back to what's going to happen on the field tonight. Have you ever heard of Roma Dunze, Greg?
I've heard of him.
Remember when
I
you jumped?
love him. We're good friends.
Yeah, remember when you jumped up and down at Joe's on Wheat Street?
Yep.
Well, he can become the first player since Mike Evans in 2020, shout out 2020, to record a touchdown reception in each of his team's first 5 games. He can do that tonight, buddy.
He's going to do it tonight. It's Roma Dunze, baby.
Yeah, so Rome is out of Mike Evans, who's going to end up in the Hall of Fame pace if he gets it done tonight. So you can do your jump up and down in the postgame show if it indeed gets that done. Oh, you like my notes?
I'm impressed you have notes, yes.
Thank you.
We do have some, Hoge, I don't know if you want to, but some people in the chat are asking where we're at. Some new viewers jumping in here, and just trying to give a proper shout out to everybody here.
We are at the Vaughn McClure Jeff Dickerson Foundation, their annual fundraiser event this year. It is a watch party. First time that we've been doing this, and the crowd has poured in here. It's a sold-out event. A lot of Bears fans ready to go, anticipating this one. Of course, there is a Monday night game that's already started, so Bills and Falcons are on right now. Appreciate everybody that bought tickets to come out here. And if you still want to contribute to, basically the money for this foundation goes to a bunch of causes that mattered a lot to Jeff Dickerson and Vaughn McClure. One of the ones that I like is the scholarships that they give out to young journalists. Every year they give out scholarship money to young up-and-coming journalists that are usually in college or high school, and kind of help jumpstart their careers with more education to get them on the right path. And so it's a great foundation. If you want to help, go to tvmjdfoundation.org and you can donate there. Also, Morgan's on Fulton is a great venue. Rooftop.
Phenomenal.
It's still covered enough, but it's also open.
Yeah, it's sweet.
And they
Like
got
a little greenhouse out here almost.
big 3 monitors ready to go for this game. So we're excited to be here. We also want to thank you for helping us get to 90,000 YouTube subscribers today. And
We're going for 100,000 tonight, so if you haven't subscribed, now is the time to do it. CHGO Bears, Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock, pre- and post-game, whenever they play. Breaking news, we're breaking in. And don't forget our Cubs show, which did a phenomenal job throughout the playoffs. Bulls, Hawks, White Sox, we got it all for you. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't.
And to celebrate us getting to 90K, we have our lowest deal ever to become a diehard. It's $27 for your first year.
Let's go.
And that, by the way, this is only a 24-hour flash sale because our accountants and Mark Carman too said that we can't go that low for that long. So it's only 24 hours. Please, if you've been on the fence, now's the time to do it. And if you're currently a diehard, for the next 24 hours, all of our merch at CHGO is 50% off for the next 24 hours. So a great opportunity to get that deal.
I like all those shirts on there.
I just fanboyed out a little bit. Tommy Harris just walked by.
Go get him.
Hell,
I will move over.
Yeah.
You can get to talk to him. Seriously, go get him.
Dude was a monster.
Go.
Dude was a monster. When we talk with Briggs and Jerry and those guys, they always say to a man, that dude was unbelievable and arguably their best player. Obviously had injury, cut short a little bit, but shout out Tommy.
Pat Norton might go get Tommy Harris to come sit down, and I'll get up if he's outside.
Well,
chance.
it's all good.
No. If we can get Tommy Harris on the show here, let's you guys should get to talk to him, and I'll gladly step aside so we can do that.
Well, also here tonight that I want to shout out Jeff Dickerson's parents, George and Sandy, just came in and waved and said hi.
Always
two
super
of the
sweet.
most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life, and they obviously did an amazing job, raising Jeff into the incredibly nice human being he was. So, and some of his friends and neighbors as well here tonight. Dave and Anita, just awesome people. it's cool to have this event every single year. So I'm glad we were able to be here for the pregame.
I'll just say, I know you guys said at the start of the show, but like for me with Vaughn McClure and Jeff Dickerson, two guys that going to training camp couldn't have been nicer, and they were always very supportive to me. I made the Devin Hester Chronicles, and Vaughn was someone that owned it too. How you doing, Tommy? Nice to see you. Appreciate you. I'm Greg.
How about this? Tommy Harris joining us.
Tommy Harris, ladies and gentlemen.
He's the MC of the event tonight, which is awesome. But how you feeling about this Bears game tonight?
I'm feeling positive about it. I feel like they've been looking good and growing. So I feel like they're going to play on what they've been doing over the last 2 weeks.
Can we get you out there to stop the run? I mean, they got to come on, man. We got to stop the run.
There's no chance. I think they're going to figure it out. They're going to get it dialed in tonight.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Jervon Dexter over here in these 3 years, what have you seen from him so far in his development trying to become a D-tackle in this league?
Well, I see great effort. I see him getting better with each game. The better competition he goes against, the next week he usually does something special. So just compounding days, just adding days, and it looks like he's getting better and better each week.
The Bears drafted Shamar Turner out of Texas A&M. For you, as a young player in the league, what was kind of the turning point for you to where you went from like taking what the coaches are teaching you to like, oh no, now I am applying this and now I'm turning the corner and going into game days with confidence?
Sadly, that didn't start happening about year 6.
So I gotta be patient, is what you're saying.
Yeah, some guy. It depends on how fast. My whole career changed when I got Rod Marinelli, but unfortunately, I wasn't the same beast when I got him. I was pretty worn out and beat up. But if you get a great coach early, man, it changes everything.
Is that kind of the key to get that right coaching early enough in your career where you're still, kind of fresh? We're seeing that right now with Grady Jarrett, who's been an amazing player in this league for a long time, but now he's dealing with the knee, trying to stay, he's inactive tonight as they continue to manage that, but he still has emerged as a big locker room leader despite not being able to be out there every down.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. Every time to be able to come out, lead in this league, especially in the D-tackle position, everything starts up front, right? I think a lot of the success, your defensive backs don't have to be that good if you got a great defensive line. So, what's his name?
Grady Jarrett?
Yeah, Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting good and he's getting better and better each week.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate you being here tonight. Vaughn McClure, Jeff Dickerson, we're dear friends of ours. This is a great foundation. It's cool for you to be out here. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm very excited. Me and Vaughn were very good friends. That's why I'm here. He was very special to me, more than just a reporter. We had a real relationship, real friendship off the field, and that's why I'm here to honor his life today.
The one thing I always loved about Vaughn and appreciated about Vaughn, I don't know if I've ever met somebody who remembered your name more.
Everything.
And he remembered my kids.
Everything.
He remembered, he would ask me, very specific questions about my life that, most people, you just can't. I can't keep track of it in my own head.
Yeah.
But Vaughn was always on top of that. He genuinely meant it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Tommy, thanks so much for being here.
This
is awesome. Maybe we get a Bears win tonight. That'd be great, too.
Yes, we will.
Pleasure meeting you, man.
All right.
Pleasure watching you play.
Yes, sir.
Tommy
Like the suit, too. The shirt's looking fresh, man. Let's go.
Hook 'em, right?
Tommy Harris, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
That's
Absolute
awesome. Tommy
monster.
Harris, one of the best. I think any Bears fan kind of around our age, that's got to be one of your favorite players. I mean, he's just dominating. And here, Lance Briggs, Charles Tillman, all these people talk about what he meant to the defense.
I'll probably bring it up to him here in a little bit because he might remember the hit, maybe not. But I'll always remember he dropped back into coverage against the Vikings. Guy come across the middle, and Tommy just wiped him out. Absolutely wiped him out. It's one of the nastiest hits I've ever seen.
You want me to bring him back out here?
Well, I'm sure he's going to harass him before.
Yeah, I'm going to leave right now.
There's no question about it. All right, should we get to our picks?
Let's get to the picks, baby.
Let's get to the picks.
All right. I believe, and I cannot prove this because I don't keep track of this every single week, but I cannot remember a week where we were split 50-50 across the board.
I thought you were going to say you can't remember a week where I picked him to lose, which you can't remember it because it hasn't happened yet this year.
All right, go Greg.
That's true. That's true.
Which I normally don't do that. I'm not doing an Adam Rank stick.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
That's worse. If it's stick, then at least you can be like, oh, I'm just doing a bit.
Well, I mean, Rank also believes it's a bit, but Rank also believes it too. The only one looking back that was silly was the Lions one. I do feel like the Bears have had an opportunity to win every one of these games they've been in. They should have won the Week 1 game. I feel like they're going to have a chance here tonight. I picked it 31-28, and I knew it was going to be raining and howling wind when we made this pick on Friday. No, so I do like that the team, for the most part, is as healthy as they've been here in a while. I do think the coming back Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards certainly going to help here. So it'll be interesting to see how they trade punches here tonight. But I think the Bears will have every opportunity to win this game. Clean up the penalties. I mean, how many penalties does this team have for the year? I think they have 40 penalties or something like that. We got the sacks figured out. Now we got to get the penalties cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders tonight. I don't love the matchup for numerous reasons, but mainly what we've been talking about, which is the Commanders run the ball well and the Bears just don't stop the run. You're also on the road. I also think just the human side of it, I do think the Bears were able to take a little bit of a deep breath after starting 0-2, and then you win the last two. I think you just naturally going into the bye, the intensity's got to drop. So I don't love that aspect of it for tonight either. So henceforth, I am picking the Commanders in a tight one, 27-23, as Chris Emma of 670 the score just walks in. Let's go,
Chris.
Emma.
Do I get a hug? You're just gonna walk past?
I think you just said that so that you could prevent. Look at Chris.
Chris Emma.
Chris Emma. Emma, who you got tonight? Okay, he said Bears.
He said Bears.
Yeah, he definitely said Bears.
He just said Bears.
Definitely said Bears. I was just about to boo Carm for his pick, Greg, but then he goes, Chris is here. So then I couldn't boo, because then it would have sounded like I was booing Chris Emma.
Well, we could have booed Chris Emma.
You were trying to redirect my boo.
Nah, I love a good, I mean, I've booed Emma before. You could boo
Emma in front of the bus.
I know, that's what he did.
That was a brilliant move.
The boo bus.
The boo bus. All right, well, you're not booing me. I got the Bears winning 24-21. I did check the weather on Friday, and I just didn't think there's going to be a lot of points. I still don't think it's going to be like, sometimes we overrate the weather. I think it's going to be fine. I think Caleb's going to play well. Here's where I really ended up going with the Bears. I was impressed with Dennis Allen's ability to change up coverages, rotate coverages against Geno Smith in that Raiders game. I think he's going to have more tricks up his sleeve in this one, while they also get Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards back. I think that's a difference maker in this game. I don't know if necessarily be pretty. I certainly thought Cairo Santos was playing when I picked them to win by a field goal. So I guess we're all in on Jake Moody. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, everyone's expecting a tight game tonight. It's a coin flip. If the Bears win it, it's on as far as the overwhelming excitement that this could be a playoff team this year. But even if they don't, still have a ton of winnable games in front of you. So, look, the season we're just getting going here. Week 6, 5th game of the year. Let's see if they can prove all the naysayers, myself included, wrong tonight.
And we got a super chat, $100 from Carrie Huss.
Huss, I thought about you yesterday.
Love Huss. Hopefully Huss got his voice back. I saw him at the airport leaving Vegas. I don't think either of us were feeling too hot. My voice was in rough shape. His was gone. Completely gone.
I saw Huss in the airport too, and I said, "Till next time, Huss." And it felt like, man, he had enjoyed himself as he always does, and it was great to see Kerry. It was a fantastic addition, of course, to the Vegas trip. I know we got to go, Greg. My bad.
Steven, can you throw the predictions back up on the screen so I could read the others that we didn't get to besides the three of us? Because it was split 4-4 across the board. Adam Johns going with the Bears 26-24. Pat Norton, we can boo him too. He went with Washington 30.
Well, he picked the Raiders too. And
Bears 27.
They lost.
Good point. Woot, who's not here with us tonight, he'll be back next week for the Saints game. 20-24, he's got the Bears winning. And then Lance Briggs and Jerry Azuma both going with the Commanders. Briggs has them winning 31-24, and Jerry's got the Commanders winning 28-23. Those are your picks.
Me and Jerry right next to each other, 28 and 27.
You're both going to be wrong. Sorry.
Well, I hope we are.
Hey, we got to get out of here. Appreciate you all being here. Apologies. Yeah. Oh, we got more supers. I'm sorry. We got to get these supers. I will say we apologize for the audio. Sometimes when you do events like this, you have to make some sacrifices. It was for a good cause. We apologize the audio wasn't great. That happens sometimes when we're on the road. I think you can still hear us. We will be back in studio. We will be back in studio for the post-game show, so make sure you hit the notification. That link's already there for you. You can hit the notifications, let you know when to go live. The second the game is over, that's where we will be. All right, Craig Wood. Steven, you mind reading these? You got a mic?
Yeah.
Why don't you handle this?
Yeah, I can do it. Craig Wood. Pre-Bears net completed and sat with my rum and chicken. Let's get over 500 and shut Washington up. Thanks for the pregame, guys. Super pumped.
Appreciate you.
We got Brennan with a $5 super chat. Carm, how many TDs would Bajan have had against the Commanders?
Great question. By the way, Bajan has a great crew coming in tonight from West Virginia on the bus, sitting in the 300 level. Travis was advertising it on Facebook. Outstanding Bears crew of fans in there. So if they're going to win tonight, the Bajan impact will be real.
Shocking he's not on the bus.
Shocking. I didn't know about it until a couple of days ago, or else I would have.
That's weird. I knew about that 2 months ago. They've been advertising it for a while.
It's on me. It's on me. It's on me. I got to look in the mirror.
Just wrap the show. We got all the sets and wrap up.
$5 from Samson Goudreau. Gentlemen, feels like this is the game of the year for us. Off bye week against a team that embarrassed, derailed us last year. Time for a statement.
Love it, Samson. Totally agree.
Make a statement, Samson. You're a statement. Let's go, Samson.
We got Jordan Brody, $20. What up, boys? Got to pull out my Cubbies funk in Montana, making Italian beef and hoping for a win. Bear down.
All right. There you go. Shout out Montana.
Last one here from Buddy Dornbrock, $20. He says, Bear down, boys. Happy to meet you all at the Packers tailgate last year. Y'all are the best, and thank you.
You're the man, buddy.
Hey, speaking of tailgates, we got our next one coming up next Sunday. So come on out before the Saints game.
Braggs was right after the game tonight. He'll be going to the tailgate to set it up.
Yep,
that's right. Going to be amazing.
And thanks to our friends at Tailgater, Pat and his counterpart Joe in Green Bay. They hooked us up yesterday outside Lambeau Field. And what was super cool was right next to the Packer tailgate, there were 650 Bengals fans with their own tailgate with Tailgater as well. They know how to do it. They're great partners. Appreciate them having me out yesterday. We had a good time with both fan bases.
Thank you, Tailgater.
All right. We're out of here. Join us on the post-game show. That link is up. You can hit the notification button. Know right when we go live. It'll be right when the game is over. We'll be back in our CHGO studios for that. Thank you to everybody here at the Vaughn McClure, Jeff Dickerson Foundation for having us out as well.
Let's go Bears!
Let's go Bears! We'll talk to you on the post-game.
We all silly like the mayor.